All right, awesome. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baseball Whisperer podcast. We're back for another episode. You have myself, the Baseball Whisperer, Coach Roger Michelle, and I am here with the mobile coach, Coach Tom Benedetto. How you doing today?
Hey, Coach Roger, I'm doing great today. Things are well. Not baseball weather, but pretty close. Opening day still. No matter how you cut the cookie, it's opening day and it's a great thing. So,
Yeah. We keep talking about that weather thing. It keeps playing its little role. I had pretty much everything canceled the last couple of days, which isn't fun with our Northeast baseball. And besides that, yeah, we did have opening day. I mean, the only thing I could really talk on as far as opening day goes would be my own experience with opening days. I didn't really get much into the baseball world today. I still did some of my indoor training and took care of other things. You have any good news to report as far as from baseball today?
yeah. So I saw a really cool stat actually, and this is how funny baseball is, right? Corbin Burns, pitcher, Major League Baseball, Milwaukee Brewers, didn't walk a batter till his 58th start of his career. Today, he walked the first batter of the game. That just shows you how fast baseball can
And
change.
how was the outcome for him today?
I think he got the loss. So no,
I don't know.
yeah, I think he got the loss. I mean, listen, it's just crazy how
So you know
baseball
what?
is.
I actually look up an interesting stat real quick. I'm very curious. I
Yeah.
once heard that if the leadoff guy of an inning gets on base, he has something like a 93% chance of scoring.
Actually,
And
that's a great
just
stat.
goes to show you how important it is to kind of work early and off inning counts, especially in the beginning of the year. I know we could say it's rough, and they had their lockout and they were kind of getting their back on their reps. But even so, I think it also comes down to a mindset thing that becomes really important when you start doing that. So, I mean, overall, yeah, that's a big deal. And if it did lead to a loss, I think that was pretty interesting because it'll go right along with that.
Well, he didn't
that
get the
step.
loss. He didn't
All
get the loss. Cubs won the game. Bullpen factored into the decision. So Corbin Burns survives an L today,
All right, there we go.
which is awesome. But yeah, no, opening day. I mean, I say it all the time to my players, and opening day is a unbelievable feeling. I think if you can mimic the feel of opening day every single day, you're going to be a pretty successful baseball player. Just energy is always there on opening day.
Yeah, so I want to go into some of the energies and stuff like that with opening day. But before we get there, let's just go over some of the exciting things we have with some of the promo codes that we have for everybody and some of the things that we have going on.
Yeah,
especially in our back giveaway too, which we want to talk about.
Yeah, so awesome stuff coming up through the ranks here. So we partnered with ProBats USA, and we were able to get a promo code for all of our players and followers. Our promo code, we have two. Mobile Coach, that's MOBILE, Coach, COACH, the number 10. That'll get you 10% off anything at probatsusa.com. And Coach Roger as well, his baseball code is Baseball Whisperer, WHISPERER 10, and that's the number 10 as well. And that's probatsusa.com. So super exciting stuff. They were able to give us a bat that we can give away today, which is awesome. We're going to do that at the end of the show. And all exciting stuff, Raj.
Yeah, and then I also have some partnerships with some people and affiliates through some of the stuff on TikTok, and one of them is Velo T. And I'm going to get my promo code. I don't have it on me right now to give to everybody. And once we get that out, it's a really awesome bag. It actually has an own home plate that unzips, and you could use that to get your work. And it has its own tee that's inside it. So it has some really cool features. I actually find it really awesome as a coach. Instead of walking around and carrying my baseball bucket everywhere, I get to throw my baseballs into my backpack and walk around lugging it on my back. So it became way better of a useful tool. And it's also good for the kids because they could put all their stuff in it, fit all their gear into it, put a couple baseballs on it. And if you're there early at a field, all you have to do is find a space that you're allowed to hit, like into some kind of like netting or something.
Yep.
And you got yourself your own tee pretty much anywhere you go. So
awesome.
We'll have that to offer people. I know that ours is 10% off too. And we'll get that to everybody ASAP. So those are some of the things we're giving away. And we got more coming. That's all, our goal is to kind of offer this to everybody, find really useful tools. And Coach Tom and I are also working on some really, really cool training tools and different useful resources that are going to come out. We're actually going to have a lot more that we're going to go over today. So that's really, really cool stuff that we have going on.
Yeah, and it's actually funny. It kind of like leads to our first segue. And opening days here, baseball started for our high school guys. Baseball's under the way for our middle school guys. I believe travel baseball started for the younger boys under 12, which is awesome. So basically right now we want to kind of go into you guys work so hard throughout the off seasons trying to gain strength and gain mass and gain muscle and work on your swings and get rid of bad habits, right? We find that a lot of players don't understand the importance of an in-season training program to go along with that. And Raj, we wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to see what your feelings were on it, and kind of give these players a little insight on what we'd like to preach on.
All right. So one thing that's really important, that once you start playing travel baseball, whatever age that is, once you start playing travel baseball or you get your kid into travel baseball, you're taking the understanding that they are now officially an athlete, meaning that they don't get to do what regular kids do. Like, where regular kids may have their priorities, which should be, faith, family, and school. And then outside of that, maybe play video games or whatever other things they like to do in today's world. I don't really know.
Right.
When you become an athlete, you have to take that fourth thing. That fourth notch doesn't really become a whatever or a hobby, but now it becomes you being an athlete. So if you are 10 years old and you're on a travel team and you're playing in a championship game, was a 10-year-old you going any less hard than a now you was going to go in a game? No shot.
No way.
So let's think about this. So this 10-year-old player, 15-year-old player, or 25 or 35 versions of us were always going the hardest, which means our bodies were taking the same beating regardless of where we're at. So some level of conditioning is required at all levels. I think everything 10 to about 13 years old, or at least the first beginning of 13, should be body weight. I think there should be a lot of body weight throughout all seasons. So I don't think a 10 to 12-year-old's routine really changes. But when we start talking to that 13, 14, and 15-year-old, I think we have to start to figure out where our training should be, because we do need to remain strong, but working out too strong, working up to opening day, leaves you being sore, and sore is not where we want to play.
So now let's touch on that. So you say 13 and up is a little bit different of a program, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
So now off season, we're focusing on gaining strength. We're focusing on gaining mass. I know for most of our players in the off season, they're trying to get as strong as possible, and that's a great thing.
Yeah,
we got to maintain that strength in the off season. What would you say
100%.
is the best way that you promote to your players on to stay strong throughout the season?
During the season.
We're talking all in season here, guys. Just because that's where we're at. We're in the season. We're in the middle of it all right now. Your job is to get as ready as possible. You've done that already. So now we got to stay ready, and we're going to try and gain.
So I mean, my insight to that is if you can't do 50 push-ups and 50 sit-ups and 50 squats, you shouldn't even be lifting a weight. If you can't control your own body, you don't deserve to be lifting weights. And the reason why I say that is because how often in baseball are you running around with weights on your body? Never. You're only pushing your own body weight. So to think that that we need to look for outside of our own body weight. Now, let's say you're the conditioned athlete. You've been taking care of yourself all winter long.
Right.
I think that you should have like an active rest day, which is like a body weight day, maybe a light jog, a light squat thing. I would say that I couldn't give you an exact percentage. We're going to have someone on that's one of my favorite people in the world. His name is Daniel Armstrong.
Yep.
He's a DPT. He'll give us exact percentages of where we should be doing our weights and stuff. He's an amazing mind, really good person. But I think there should be some reduction of our weight. We have to make sure we're definitely not trying to see new gains. So we're done with our rep maximums and things of that nature. Okay. I think we're going to get to a point which probably around like the 70% mark, something like that. I think it's 70% of your body weight or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Yep. And that's kind of where we want to be, kind of lifting and making sure we're maintaining whatever we did gain for the most part, because the act of playing baseball or any sport for that matter, it breaks down the muscles. That's what it's doing. So if we're not getting stronger, I mean, try making it to the end of a season and now you're playing in your, 30th high school game. You haven't done anything to work out since the beginning of the season because you don't have time, whatever other reasons you make up. You're now the playoffs come, you're going to be spent, and that's not what we want.
No, listen, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think, again, I'm going to preach on we work hard to get to the point where we're at for the season. It's our job to stay there now. I coach my travel ball with the East Coast Lumberjacks. Shout out to those guys over there. They do a phenomenal job. The Pembroke boys built an unbelievable program.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, those boys work all year round. Yeah. And that's what they preach. And I am a big believer in it because we talk about being at the disadvantage of being a Northeast baseball program. Being that Northeast baseball program, it's tough to get outside and do things. But like we said last week, you can get outside and do stuff.
Yeah,
you can still do what you have to do, maintain that strength, focus on what you got to do to become the best player you could be. That doesn't mean put weights down during the season, though, right, Raj?
No,
so now what do you feel on that, like with the weight training programs and what you do with that?
But again, I think that the weight training program should still remain in baseball-specific motions. There's certain workouts. I mean, again, so we're going to have resources for this stuff. Our goal at the end of this episode, especially when we post up on YouTube, is to post some links with some beginner workouts and things we recommend doing. But there should be baseball-specific motions, things of that nature. I believe that core work and actually rotational stuff is really important because if you really think about it, as much as the core is meant to bend and has some bending capabilities, the core's real purpose is actually to really not make you bend. Because think about it. I know it's a little bit of a crazy way to think about it, but if you were into a car accident, what's the first thing that's going to happen once the car hits? The first thing that's going to happen is your core is immediately going to tighten to stop you from going forward. So a function of a core is so much deeper than just a bend. So I think, and that's what they found out when they're having all these core injuries in the pros. It was all this rotational stuff, and it was just not. It was damaging to the core.
That's sick. That's sick stuff right there. Sick stuff right there. Unbelievable. But you're right though. Like when I know for most athletes who, like again, I speak on baseball players because that's what I've been around the most of my life is baseball players, and
100%.
I seen the best players are the guys who are the strongest physically, and the guys who can control and have control of their body.
Listen, that's the most important. The most control of the body.
Yeah, but I think like when you are training and you're focusing on training 12 months out of the year, you get to really learn your body and you get to know your capabilities. And I think that comes with that training that goes hand in hand of gaining strength. You can control what you can control. You can control how strong you are. May not be able to control how tall you are. But if you continue to work out and maintain strength throughout the season, I guarantee you're still going to gain strength. Is it true? You agree? For the most part?
I agree for the most part. And again, just when it comes down to those workouts, you have to follow through on a program. I would recommend working with somebody, again, like the guy that I'm talking about, Daniel Armstrong. I work with him. He makes programs for athletes for in-season, out-of-season workout programs. I do recommend doing it that way. One of the bigger things I've seen with a lot of training routines, it becomes very generic, right? You know what I'm saying? So it looks like it's the same kind of workouts. Doesn't matter what kind of year it is. It's, hey, this is what I used to do. And I think it's so much deeper than that. You know, one thing I'm a big fan of is kind of tailoring workouts specifically to athletes, because I think each athlete has their own need. Like you might have worked out all winter long, and maybe for whatever reason, whether you realize it or not, because maybe you're righty dominant, lefty dominant, you favored one side.
Right.
Maybe like, one side of your body's a little strong, and you don't know these things unless you're actually getting legit plans. And again, now we're talking about like elite style stuff. If you're just a basic player and you're just trying to get through, a basic workout program is going to be good. But
and you know what? Like you hit on something there, like an individualized plan, right?
Yeah,
I think every player needs an individualized plan.
I
and I think if you're not focusing on an individualized plan, then you're really not focusing on truly bettering yourself as a player. When you're training in anything, in baseball or studying for tests, I hate to say it, it sounds like this, but you need to be a little selfish a little bit. You need to focus on the things that are going to make you the best player.
I agree.
And if you aren't being real to yourself and coaches aren't being real to you and you're not getting a fair evaluation on what you need to improve on, the individualized plan is basically, it's not even individualized. And that's the problem.
And you know what? You actually make me want to touch on something, because when you talk about something being selfish, think about how deep of a statement that is, because is it really being selfish when you're doing whatever you can to better yourself to help better your team, right? Because think about it, right? We've talked about it already in the past. You wanted to be the guy.
Right.
I wanted to be the guy.
Right.
I knew that my training in the gym was going to help me be that moment the guy. Again, I guess you can call me a little crazy, but I was one of those guys, like every at bat, like I try and imagine myself hitting a big time shot, a clutch shot, a home run, a double, whatever it is, striking a guy out, whatever those moments. I like to play those moments out in my head. And you could say it's selfish wanting to be that guy, but at the end of the day, I want to help the team. Of course, I want to be the guy, but I want to help my team, and that's kind of what makes the game fun. Have you ever had a walk-off home run or a hit? It's the most amazing feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's why you play. If you're not playing to be that guy, and if you're not that guy who gets those big hits in your head each and every time that you're thinking about it, then you're automatically you're in the wrong direction. Yeah. And as a player, no matter how it's so cliche, but you got to take each at bat for what it is. Each at bat, one at bat at a time, and kind of run off of that. Yeah. But you see, like a lot of guys, the guys who are even keel, the guys who are in control of their emotions, are the guys who successfully get up and stay consistent.
Yes.
And it's all about having a plan. It's all about having an approach. And anytime you can individualize something for that, you're heading in the right direction.
So I want to finish off as far as like the working out stuff. Again, 10 to 12, 13 years old, you should be doing body weight on a very consistent basis. That's actually some stuff we're going to be having coming to our page. We've talked about it a long time, but basically hit 15-minute to 20-minute hit workouts. That can be done by any level of ball player. And then besides that, once you get older, I think you should start looking into individualized workout plans. I think you should look to baseball-specific people, not just going to the gym to the guy that's certified. Again, I think he's doing a great job, but if it's not baseball-specific, it's not going to really be the most beneficial to you. And that kind of leads me into one of the next things that I wanted to chat about tonight with you was, you brought up something before, which is really interesting, how to train.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about it. I train a lot of athletes, and some of my athletes that I train are geared towards, hey, I don't care if I'm 10 years old, like I want to play high school, college, D1 baseball.
Right.
They're that. There's other kids that are not. And if you are not that kid, it's okay. Because that now it's just about teaching this young man how to be coordinated, how to be athletic, how to set goals, how to use their mind to achieve things. Right. But if you are that athlete that's 10 years old to 15 years old, and that might be a little bit too late, you have to be real with yourself as to what your goals are. And then the training is super important. So like me, when I learn a new skill, I obsess over the new skill. Right. How I'm supposed to move my body. How am I supposed to do this differently? What did I learn? And if you're not doing that and taking the steps and feeling everything through your body, I feel like you're not getting better. And I feel like there's a difference between a purposeful rep and a rep.
Agree. And I think that's why when anytime you take batting practice, you don't take 500 swings, 100 swings in a row. It should be 7 to 10 swings working on something. I know for me, again, I preach driving the ball to all fields. So a big thing that I like to talk about all the time is stay behind the ball, let the ball travel, let the pitcher provide half your power. You get your body in a good position to provide afterwards. Yeah. So if you have that plan and you have that mindset, you're always going to be in a good position off a tee, and that should translate into a game. But like you said about a lot of reps, I feel like when you do more reps, you start to get into bad habits because you get tired. Yeah. And that's a big problem. Once you're tired, and listen, you play sports. Baseball is one of those games where it may not seem like a conditioned sport, but you're playing every day. And if you're not playing every day for 6, 7, 8 months.
And not working out on top of that.
You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, people. You need to work. This is we have a short amount of time to be doing things. We got to take advantage of it. Take advantage of your coaches. Take advantage of asking questions. That's what the name of the game is here.
And you said it's a short time. Isn't it funny? I know I don't know if I said it to your group. You definitely may have heard me say it. You ever heard me say you're going to blink your eyes and be 35 years old?
Well, look at me now.
Exactly. My point, all right? So, that's one of the things that baseball really teaches you, because baseball is one of those things that's consistent. It's always the same, and it always runs in the same seasons. Right. And with that happening, you get to look back and be like, oh my God, this season's like fly by. Like I'm already in my senior year of high school. Oh my God, I'm already in my senior year of college. Oh my God, I've already been coaching college for 12 years. Oh my God. And these things just start to fly by, and it starts to give you this perspective. And the big thing I think we're trying to say, like, is if you're 10, 11, 12, especially 13, 14, specialized training is major. Your training with a team is not your place to get better. It's your place to take your reps to make sure you're staying sharp and increase your sportsmanship around a team while trying to get better. Whereas taking individualized time on your own and individualized time with coaches is the way that you're truly going to take your game to the next level, because you need individualized feedback. And just for everybody that's listening, like, think about it this way. If you go to a clinic or you go to a team and you have a 2-hour practice and you have however many stations, so say they're going through 10-minute rotations, and you have 5 athletes in a group, that's only 2 minutes of training per athlete. So it doesn't maximize what you're getting. Whereas when you have an hour or a half hour with a young athlete, now that's maximizing their time, specializing and focusing on them, which, helps everybody involved in the situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. So so for me I would say with the baseball player from 10 to 12, I like to keep everything a half hour just because I think it's fresh and keep them sharp. Okay. I'm a big believer in group training. Small groups.
I do it, but again, it depends. So I'm with you. If you have a group that is, as I'm talking about, like some of the groups that you could work with are not going to all be that caliber. And that's the other thing too. Like, it's very hard to group kids together if they're not the same caliber and the same focus caliber.
But now hear me out on this. So again, when it comes to group training, I think there are so many things that attribute to becoming a good player in training. And I think sometimes being surrounded by other players that are maybe a little bit better than you, that raises your level of competition. If your level of competition isn't raising there, then there's other sports for you to be playing. And I think it comes down to the fact that you got to either want to be the guy or not want to be the guy. And it starts right there in a group training competition. You could find out right there what you're going to get.
Yes. I like that, because I have groups where there's 2-on-1s, 3-on-1 max is
Right.
where I'll go. I mean, really where I like to go.
Right.
And they have to be focused with what we're working on. They have to be
Sure.
in a similar mindset because, again, like, what are we trying to get at this? We're trying to get the most out of these young athletes that we're training, regardless of how old they are. Because at the end of the day, we're not training baseball players. We're training people that play baseball. So if we don't understand how our bodies work, how our minds work, then what are we doing? And I know I get a lot of interesting feedback on the Baseball Whisper of like, these kids aren't listening, they're checked out. But are they really? Because again, we've talked about it. Our job is to be a baseball teacher.
Right.
So if I'm feeding the same message to a kid at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, how are you going to feel as this high school coach when you get him from me? You're going to be so thankful that I groomed this kid to be there.
I mean, you see it all the time, right? I mean, this is my, let's see, I've been coaching travel baseball since 2008. So I took off last year. So 14 years, we'll say, call it 14 years of travel baseball. Sometimes it's amazing to see the lack of just knowledge of the actual game. And I think that's a whole nother realm of training. And like, again, like you have instructors that can help you. You have coaches that will help you ask questions, do those things. But I'm going to tell you right now, I said it once, I'll say it again. Right now is a golden opportunity for each and every young player to get in front of a television set and watch a couple innings of professional baseball. You learn a lot from watching the games. You can pick up little things that are going to help make you a better player. You're a shortstop, watch how the shortstop moves. You're a second baseman, watch how the second baseman moves. You're a catcher, watch what he does. You watch how he gives signs. Watch everything. You're only going to learn. And the more you learn, knowledge is power. The more knowledge you pick up, the better player you're going to be. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I mean, to give you an idea, I think I've said it before. I learned my curveball from watching Rick Reed in 1998 on one of those TVs that still had the UHF knob on it.
Yep.
It was half staticky, and I'm watching the way this man holds his curveball. And for weeks, that's all I practiced. And again, think about what I said. Every time I was throwing with my friends, at the end of my throwing progression, whatever I was doing, me and my friends would go back and forth, and I'd start working on this curveball until I can't throw it. It had to be a focus factor, and that's how I was able to accomplish it. And just real quick about watching baseball.
Yeah.
See, the more competitive baseball that you could watch, the better. So like watching college baseball, I would think is more beneficial to a young athlete because you're going to see real sports. You're going to see real strategy. You're going to see like actual plays happening where baseball's straying away from it, which is why they're trying to change the game back to that, which I appreciate.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's kind of like the idea of where we start to go into these things. So really making sure we're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. And again, it's, if you don't understand or you're not unsure of what to do, ask a coach, ask someone who knows a little bit more that can help you kind of get into that realm of what you should be doing. So
read a book.
Read. I mean, geez, I'm an English teacher. Read. I mean, I wish I would have read in high school. I would have learned more. The more you learn, the more power you get. Can't stress that enough.
I'm a big reader. I like to do that.
Yep. So again, guys, I just want to run this by you guys. ProBatchUSA.com. They sponsored us today with bat giveaway. Again, for 10% off, you can go to their website, type in our promo code, my promo code, is Mobile Coach 10, and Roger's promo code is Baseball Whisperer 10. So you can plug those in, get 10% off any order that you purchase. Raj, you got anything else you want to do?
Well, we got a couple questions here. If anyone has questions, we'd love to field some. So we're located in New York. Right now, actually, quick backstory. I coached Tommy as one of the first players that I've ever coached, or one of the first teams I ever coached in college. Mm-hmm. Later on in his career, he came back and coached with me after his college career was over. And then he went on to do some great things with baseball in Maryland, and he's been around, and we've talked about coming together, and now here we are. And somebody also asked, said something, and you're welcome. We love to help you learn stuff. That's why we're doing the stuff that we're doing.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot more coming. We're going to start getting out some really good resources for you guys that are going to be beneficial to help training youth athletes, high school athletes. So there's a lot more of that coming for you guys.
For sure. And I think the big thing is, again, Roger and I, we've known each other now for 17 years almost, which is insane. My freshman year of college, Roger's my coach, kind of took me under his wing, was very, very helpful towards me as a player, got a lot out of me. I'm super thankful for that. But I think that in the grand scheme of things, baseball gave us such a great experience that we want to pass that on to everyone that we come across. So Thank you again for asking those questions. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And that's kind of what the goal is going to be here. And that's going to be our theme over the next couple of weeks, is basically just a platform, or not weeks, for as long as we're here, is to offer this platform and a chat. We're going to try and go live as much. It might be singular with us a little bit and just seeing one person, but we encourage you guys to kind of be part of it and join us and kind of ask any questions that you have. There's things that we want to kind of teach the community, the baseball community, where the game is going, how the game is trending, especially in youth baseball. You have to remember that youth baseball and Major League Baseball are two totally different beasts. I mean, they're pretty much getting to the point where they're not the same game anymore, and that's okay. I mean, again, baseball's always going to be a game of catch, hit, and throw, but it's still a very interesting, evolving game.
We talk about it all the time, right? Baseball players, what they do better than any other athlete is they adjust, right? And we have to adjust. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep right there. And as the times grow with technology, our job is to adjust with the times. And our job is to provide those tools that are going to help you get there. So anything that we could do to do it, let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. So just trying to think if we have anything else that we really want to make over. I don't think so. I think we have to go over. We have a winner, so we want to announce our winner because we're getting down to our final couple minutes here together.
So we left it open for a little extra time. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut down on live for a second. We're going to post on both of our Instagram pages the winner of the wheel spin that we have going on. It'll be going on in about. We got a question? Oh, Callie's got one. What's the best advice you can give a young high school baseball player about heart? Love that question. I love that question. That's deep. That's deep. I'm going to answer it. So here's the thing so I'm a high school teacher now, and I wasn't for my whole career. This is my first year as a teacher. I've kind of traveled around as different careers, and what I preach to all my high school students is the same thing I preach to my high school players. I was someone who did not do what I was supposed to do academically as a high school student. It cost me a lot of really cool opportunities. Because of those mistakes, I was able to learn from them. And I learned, listen, I was getting punished all the time for having bad grades. And I didn't understand what it really meant to be a student athlete until after I got past it. And my job here as a coach is to provide as much as the mistakes that I made so you don't make those mistakes. So for me, heart starts with doing well in school, providing yourself with the most resources to be successful in the classroom. Because if you can be successful in the classroom and you can be successful on the playing field, a lot of opportunities are going to come together for you when the time's right. I promise you that.
And so I have. So as far as heart, I coached a player. Oh, I can't think of his name. I remember his first name was Jason. His was a second baseman for us. I don't know if you were there. His name will come to me in a few minutes. And he was one of those players that coaches. I had one coach one being. He goes, that guy right there. He goes, I don't care where I coach. He's like, I would always take someone like that because the heart he has. Yep. And I think another way you could also look at heart is also like just the all-out drive to leave it all on the field, to be the guy that's going to give up his body to get in front of a ball, a guy that's going to take the extra hustle on a ground ball that he hits in the infield, hoping the guy's going to bobble it and making sure he's running through the base as hard as he can, not looking back or caring or sulking, a guy that's going to strike out and jog it off into the dugout and pat the next guy on his butt and say, hey, listen, this guy's got nothing today. Somebody that's going to be that's the heart and soul of a team. I think the other side of it too is having enough heart to care about yourself, to care about your team, to care about your family, to wear that name with pride and make sure that you're an example of what it means to be a part of that team as a player, as a role model, as a leader. And I think all those things play into having good heart, but not having a good heart is the guy that is out there and he's going to cry about calls he isn't happy with, get angry at his team and take things out and stuff like that. So I think that kind of has to do with it. Any advice?
Get some more questions.
Better during the season. I'm starting as a pitcher this year. Who's that? Mako Pop PP man 25. As far as like a starting pitcher goes this year, there's a lot that we have to get into with that. So those are things. As far as one, I would recommend getting lessons. I don't know where you're from. So if you let me know where you're from, or you hit me up on Instagram, baseball_whisperer, I could help you find some resources. That's kind of one of the things we're also trying to do is promote local outside of our area, even inside our area, but try and find people the right training. Because now, again, we can't do everything, and we want to make sure that kids are getting the training. So I actually told somebody today, it's not about competition. It's about making sure that the kids are getting trained. There's always a kid, and there's always going to be someone out there that needs training. And our our job is to help them find that training. But as far as pitching, that's a rough question to ask because I need to know what pitches you throw and what your velo is and things of that nature. But we could definitely help out with that. Like I said, if you DM me at the baseball_whisper, and that goes for anybody that, you know,
anyone,
the same thing. What's your?
Yeah, please. If you have any questions, I love that. So you can send it to me at I'm on Instagram at the mobile coach _li. Send me something. Love to help you out. Our job here is to make sure you're getting the best out of yourself, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. And so remember, we're gonna be doing this every Thursday around this time. We're gonna be going live with you guys.
Yeah.
Again, we might not be together, but you'll get one of
us.
You'll
get one of us.
We'll see if we could find a way to make it so we could play it so everybody could hear. But outside of that, we're getting down to the end of our time here with you guys now. So we're gonna announce our winner, and
we're gonna announce our winner within the next 10 minutes. So look for our posts on the Baseball Whisper Instagram, TikTok, and also look for it on my Instagram as well at the mobile coach _li. So Raj, pleasure as usual. I think this was great. We got one last question.
Yeah, last one. So I need
last
to
question.
Keep the shoulder loose and not as sore before you leave. Before we leave. So as far as that, it comes down to arm care. So one of the things that we're actually going to be doing is we have this throwing program that we believe in. That's basically for anybody that does any overhand action. So volleyball, baseball, softball, doesn't matter. We're going to actually post that as it was one of the free resources we're going to give out tonight. That link we'll have up on when we get our YouTube posted. I'm sure it'll be on our Instagram and as well. For
we'll have it on check out for sure.
So we'll get that out to you. And then other than that, listen, guys, it's been a pleasure being with you guys tonight. Please write down your questions. Come back next week. We'll always save time at the end of the show to get to your questions. And we really appreciate you listening.
Absolutely.
We really look forward to growing your community. Just real quick, where can we find you and things of that nature?
Absolutely. You can find me at the mobile coach _li on Instagram. And you can also find me on TikTok as well at the mobile coach as well. Guys, keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting in work. Good luck to the guys in high school. Good luck to the guys in middle school. My young guys playing travel. Do what you do. Smash some baseballs. Raj, you got anything?
Yeah. So I can be found at baseball_whisper on TikTok and Instagram. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Have some more stuff coming up. And then that's pretty much it. We got a lot more stuff that we're going to be announcing coming soon. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. And we'll definitely be seeing you again soon.
Good seeing you guys. Thank you all.